Thank you, Mr. Speaker, Sir, Honorable Prime Minister, Honorable Ministers and Assistant Ministers, Honorable Leader of the Opposition, Members of Parliament, guests, ladies and gentlemen. I rise today to present to this August House some of the achievements of the Water Authority of Fiji over the past 3 financial years, 2022, 25, 26. These achievements go beyond the construction of infrastructure. They represent the fulfillment of government's vision for equity, resilience and sustainable development. The mission has been clear that access to clean and reliable water is not a privilege for some, but a constitutional right for all Fijians. Let me stress that this statement is not about what Fiji First has achieved or started or what the coalition government has done, but rather what has been achieved by government, Water Authority of Fiji, given our collective responsibilities as leaders, whoever is in power. The provision of water is about delivery of a basic need, but not about who is in power. For the financial year 2022-23 marked a crucial turning point by the Water Authority of Fiji, a year of rebuilding momentum and reaffirming our national commitment to water security following the unprecedented disruptions of the COVID-19 pandemic. It was a year that tested our resilience and reaffirmed our purpose despite global economic challenges, supply chain disruptions and workforce restrictions. Water Authority of Fiji remains steadfast in fulfilling its vision to provide clean water and sanitation for all Fijians. In the 2022-23 financial year, a total of 3,308 new water and 204 new wastewater meters were connected, bringing much needed water and sanitation services to households and communities that had long awaited inclusion. These new connections demonstrated government's ongoing effort to expand access, promote public health, and support the recovery of communities from the social and economic impacts of the pandemic. Various package plants, etc., were commissioned in late 2022, such as Wewaimba and Sabu. At Wunindau Naitasiri, a new package plant with a capacity of 500,000 liters per day was commissioned mid-2023 at a cost of 3.3 million, fully funded by government, supports the Wunindau government station, hospital, schools and neighboring villages, benefiting around 1,100 Fijians and allowing for future expansion. In Singatok, approximately 300 residents from Malo and Naindiri villages now have access to clean water through a 737,000 meter supply project. The project included construction of a new 90,000 liter reservoir and water extension to 60 farming households. Additionally, the Mbale Buto plant optimization project, completed in 2023 at a cost of 1.3 million, significantly improved water supply reliability for 3,000 residents. Through electrical and mechanical upgrades, the 4 megaliter plant now operates more efficiently, ensuring continuous delivery of clean water. Mr. Speaker, while these projects may vary in scale, collectively they form the foundation of our national water resilience. They reaffirm that government's investments extend beyond major towns and cities, reaching deep into rural and peri-urban areas, providing every Fijian family with dignity, safety and hope in terms of water. The year 2022-23 demonstrated that even in the face of global and local challenges, the Water Authority of Fiji continues to uphold its vision and mission and commitment to service delivery. For 2023-24, in terms of extending the reach, it was a defining period for Water Authority of Fiji, a year that marked both transformation and expansion in the reach and reliability of our nation's water infrastructure. Having strengthened the foundations in the previous years, focus was towards broadening service coverage, modernizing assets and building resilience into every aspect of the operations. One of the landmark achievements in the financial year was the launch of the Water Sector Strategy 2050, costed at approximately $8.7 billion, a visionary roadmap that sets Fiji's direction for water and wastewater services for the next 3 decades. This strategic plan addresses climate vulnerability, aging infrastructure, and promotes circular economy principles, ensuring sustainability and resilience in service delivery. It aligns closely with the principles of the National Development Plan and supports the national vision for inclusive, climate resilient development. Most importantly, it reinforces the government's unwavering commitment to upholding every citizen's constitutional right to clean and safe water. A highlight was the completion of the new Viria water treatment plant, a state-of-the-art facility, one of the largest in the South Pacific, with a treatment capacity of 40 million liters per day. This strategic investment has transformed water supply services across the Central Division, providing clean and consistent water to more than 360,000 Fijians living along the Lami-Suva-Nosori corridor. Mr. Speaker, these same areas from Nosori, Teluru, and Reo, once plagued by intermittent water supply, now enjoy consistent, high-quality water. During the financial year, 31.5 kilometers of pipeline extensions were completed, benefit for around 47,000 Fijians. These extensions demonstrate WEF's effort to connect more communities and expand the boundaries of coverage. Alongside the major developments, the Sawani to Viria pipeline project, an extension of the Viria project, saw the installation of 24.5 kilometers of pipeline, further strengthening the supply network and ensuring efficiencies in water supply to households and communities. In the west, in Nadronga, the Husama and Navi Samba village water project was completed at a cost of 3.4 million for the 120 plus households in the villages. It was the first time water flowed consistently through taps at their homes instead of depending on wells. The project laid 8.4 kilometers of new pipeline connected directly into WEF's network and build a distribution system robust enough for future generations. For mothers and children who used to carry buckets from streams and the wells, if you've been there, this marked the end of decades of hardship. We have also completed 10 rural water projects, providing clean, safe water to 2,900 Fijians who previously lacked access. This included new water schemes, household standpipes, shower installations, enabling families in rural and remote communities to enjoy the same quality of service as those in urban areas. Mr. Speaker, these projects may serve relatively small population, but the depth of transformation that has brought to their lives of those in those communities is profound, as you may understand. Families are living with the assurances that water will be there when they awake, when they cook, and also for sending their children to school. On the global stage, we have proudly represented Fiji at the International Water Association, World Water Congress and Exhibition in Canada. These platforms brought together global leaders and experts in water management. The Water Authority of Fiji was recognized with the Climate Smart Utility Recognition Award 2024. This honor reflects WEF's continuous integration of climate-smart approaches in its infrastructure planning, operations, and service delivery, reinforcing Fiji's reputation as a regional leader in sustainable water management. The financial year 23-24 truly showcased WEF's expanding reach from our urban to rural areas. In the financial year 24-25, building for growth and resilience was the underlying theme. For the 2024-25, WEF was allocated a total budget of 259 million, comprising 135 million for CAPEX, capital expenditure, and 123 million for operational expenditure. I'm pleased to report that capital expenditure execution reached 94%, while operational expenditure utilization achieved 100%, a strong testament to fiscal discipline and performance efficiency. A total of 1,800 new water meters and 93 new wastewater meters were connected to the reticulation systems, expanding WEF's reach to previously unserved communities. In the Central Division, we also saw remarkable progress under the Reo River Water Supply Scheme, a program designed to expand reliable water access across the division. Two major projects reached completion during this financial year, marking significant milestones. The Korabo to Venuga Village Upgrade and Extension Project, valued at 5.8 million, is now nearing completion. This critical investment involved the laying of 7.65 kilometers of new pipeline, directly benefiting approximately 5,000 Fijians across Korabo, Venuga, and nearby communities. The project enhances water reliability, particularly for rural households, schools, and farming settlements that previously faced prolonged dry spells and intermittent supply. The second Cornevia Road junction to Loki water mains project, valued at $6 million, was also successfully completed under the same scheme. This project has brought relief to around 4,000 Fijians, significantly improving water pressure and distribution efficiency across the area. Together, these projects form part of the River supply scheme's broader strategy to strengthen water security for Central Division communities, ensuring the development flows hand in hand with access to essential services. This stands as tangible evidence of the government's commitment to inclusive growth and equitable service delivery, bridging the divide. In the Northern Division, the Numberwal water treatment plant was completed at a cost of $5.4 million with a capacity of 2 million liters per day and a 500,000 liter reservoir. This plant now serves around 3,000 fellow Fijians in Numberwal and surrounding communities, laying the foundation for future township growth. In the Western Division, Malacca Island was completed at a cost of $1.1 million, involving the installation of a 3-kilometer submarine pipeline from Naria to Malacca Island. As a result, 645 residents now have uninterrupted access to clean water, even during national disasters. The Varangue Saru pipeline project in Nandi Lotoka, valued at $9.6 million, involved laying 5.5 kilometers of pipeline through rocky terrain. It now secures the stable raw water supply to the Saru water treatment plant, benefiting 25,500 Fijians in the greater Lotoka-Nandi region. In Vusama, Navisama villages, a total of 3.4 million water supply project brought continuous water to 120 households for the first time, with 8.4 kilometers of pipeline laid. On rural water, 13 rural water supply projects were completed around the country: Nawangambena, Navutu, Nauluvatu, and various other locations, 7 in the central, 3 in western, and 3 in northern, with a total of cost of $2.5 million, benefiting approximately 3,300 Fijians. These projects have brought reliable water closer to the homes of those living in remote communities. In addition, we have successfully delivered 1,187 rainwater harvesting tanks to rural communities that remain outside the current WEF network. The rural programs directly contribute to the outcomes of the Water Sector Strategy 2050, promoting gender and social inclusion. Women and girls who once walked long distances for water now have access at their doorstep, a milestone in rural development. Mr. Speaker, as of July 2025, 31,600 households are also benefiting from the free water allowance scheme, where those who are eligible must have a combined annual income of less than 30,000. Another new initiative is the apprenticeships. 86 apprentices, 30 women and 56 men, including catchment and facility landowners, join WEF under a structured apprenticeship partnership with the FNU. This initiative attempts to address critical skill shortages and builds a gender-inclusive workshop for the future, an important step aligned with the Water Sector 2050 strategy. In addition, we have successfully installed generator sets at 14 major pump stations. This critical upgrade ensures that power supply is available during outages and to maintain uninterrupted supply. This includes the installation in Rotum of 3 gen sets as backup and to the existing infrastructure, and improves the reliability of supply from the 3 borehole pumping stations. And of course, we are also currently scoping more sustainable options, such as bigger capacity solar-powered pumps. The NRW performance-based contract, non-revenue water, this has already been mentioned a few times. This is targeted at reducing leakages in our major pipelines. In addition, the board also approved a comprehensive job evaluation exercise and the outcomes to ensure that our employees are fairly compensated with market-based salaries. We all understand the outflow of our technical people, and it is necessary that we take this step. And WEF has adjusted salaries and wages. In addition, the outstanding allowances, including wet and dirt allowances, which have been issues of contention for quite some time. So the 2024 financial year stands as a powerful demonstration of West growth moving forward with strong performance and high investments in our infrastructure. So over the 3 years, more than 20 major capital projects have been completed, representing an investment of over 334 million. The direct beneficiaries exceed 230,000 Fijians spread across all our divisions. And as we look back, the impact of Water Authority of Fiji and their work is deeply meaningful as we move forward from the corridors around Suva, the urban areas, right down to our villages and schools. A lot, of course, needs to be done, and with continuous improvement and commitments of the key stakeholders and elements in this work. We have seen WF evolve from utility provider to becoming a driver of national development, and the authority's achievements over the last 3 years reflect a commitment to deliver a basic need to all, and as witnessed or as I've already stated. In the financial year 2025-26, there are various programs which we have budgeted for, but one of or two of the major developments is the elevated Princess Road project, which you may have seen or heard in terms of commissioning or the launching. This involves the construction of a 11.7 kilometer pipeline from Sawani to Dolisuva and Khalsa Road, supported by a new pump station midway and 2 5 megaliter reservoirs in Dolisuva. If you pass that site, the work has begun. This will ensure 24/7 uninterrupted water supply to communities such as Sakoda, Dokoina Suva, Tadiriwa, Dolisuva, and of course Lami and Greater Suva areas. In addition, number 2, we have also done the groundbreaking for a 20 megaliter Tamabua modular water treatment plant to supplement or to complement the current plant there, costing $12 million, providing supply to more than 200,000 people in the Suva, Lami, Nosuri areas and parts of Nasinu. This will strengthen resilience in addition to the first project they have mentioned. These 2 projects will finally alleviate the sufferings of the people in these areas for the last, in the past. So in terms of the current budget, the budget allocates 2.9 million in the Western Division. This includes water mains upgrading, water extensions for the various communities in the West, and of course in the Northern Division, 5.6 million to upgrade the Mbenao water treatment plant. Water Authority of Fiji has begun works for the proposed Wanivasa water treatment source in Taibani. I will expand on that in one of the answers to the questions. These projects in the north will directly improve the lives of approximately 6,000 Fijians. And in terms of wastewater, this has also been mentioned previously by the Minister of Finance. 15.1 million has been set aside for the wastewater program. Major projects include the 1.3 million for the Kina wastewater treatment plant upgrade, 0.86 million packaged wastewater treatment plant in Pacific Harbour, and of course there is also the works plan for the Indian Rao Island wastewater upgrade. And of course there is the ongoing rural water harvesting, rural water cutting, and the rural supply scheme. Another ongoing initiative is the Kumbalau Combined Scheme in Bua, with the installation of 33 kilometers of pipeline, 2 reservoirs, and multiple standpipes to serve 1,050 residents across 9 villages. This implementation is ongoing and is progressing satisfactorily. So all these projects, Mr. Speaker, sir, reflect the government's commitment, not only this government, but of course the previous governments. We build on their successes and on the infrastructure that has been built in the past, to continue the good work to deliver as far as this critical step is concerned. And as we step into the next cycle under the National Development Plan 2025-29 and the Water Sector Strategy 2050, these projects are the foundation. I have not mentioned others in detail. For example, the Eastern Nanangando Water Treatment Plant upgrade, extended pipelines below road, and numerous others. But as I already mentioned, we as a government are here to build on past successes and move forward. And whatever government comes in, that is the task that is they have to complete or work on. I commend the dedication of the Water Authority Board, management and staff, especially those working out there in the wet, in the heat and the mud, day and night when there's emergencies. And I thank them sincerely for their work as we move forward. It is our collective responsibilities as leaders to build on the infrastructure of the previous governments and continue to build. The coalition government has done that and will continue to do so moving into the future. Navalu.